Hey everyone, meteorologist Collin Rogers here. Can you believe that fall is almost here? It surely doesn't feel like it with these warmer than average, dry conditions, but fall starts this Sunday, the fall equinox, and with the changing of the seasons, eventually comes the changing of the leaves. So on a typical year, this is what this map is showing. In early October is when we would see those peak colors in the UP, northern lower seeing those peak colors in mid-October, and southern lower seeing those peak colors coming in late October. Now, this is on an average year. This year, though, at least over the last several weeks, late summer, and as we progress into early fall, hasn't exactly been normal. We've been warmer than average. And I talked with an expert, Evan Fisher, the owner and founder of Explore Fall, and he tells me that if you're seeing leaves falling under some trees right now, that's more due to stress. The lack of moisture we've had across much of Michigan is leading to some trees becoming a little stressed out there. You may notice some brown, crispy leaves kind of scattered about under a few trees. That's all due to stress from the lack of moisture. In Kalamazoo, we've only had 0.14 of an inch of rain over the last year, and that can certainly stress some trees out. But in terms of actually seeing those colors really changing and then the fall leaves falling for good, that still is on the way. But if you are seeing a few of those trees losing their leaves, Evan tells me that's all thanks to the stress from these trees and with the lack of moisture. Now, if we stay dry, there are some complications. Some trees with a drier soil actually have more vibrant colors in the fall. Some tree species have more dull colors in the fall, dependent on dry soil. So, it's kind of all over the place. This season is going to get a little complicated. Not only Michigan, but much of the lower 48 dealing with drier than average conditions over the last several weeks. That's going to kind of complicate our forecast a little bit, but I'll kind of dive a little deeper into what we can expect here across Michigan. So there's no doubt soil moisture has been running a little dry, but what we look for and what we haven't had yet is temperatures. Cooler temperatures, lows at night in the 30s and 40s, not necessarily freezing, but in the 30s and 40s, and high temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And if you get sunshine along with that, that is perfection for those trees to start changing and have some really nice colors. We haven't gotten that chilly yet. It's on the way. That's when we'll start to see these leaves changing. But until then, we're not seeing much colors just yet. We are seeing a few leaves falling because of the stress, but not necessarily seeing those colors changing, at least here in Southwest Michigan. So that will be on the way. But looking at things, across much of Michigan, the soil moisture has been running a little dry. It's not extremely dry, but it is a little drier than average. And we've also had warmer than average temperatures. Now, those two factors combined, that often means that we have a little bit later of a season in terms of peak colors. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my prediction. And, this isn't too far off from what we typically see, just slightly delayed. So kind of looking at early to mid-October for the UP, mid to even a little late October for northern lower. And those dates continue to get a little later. Notice for the I-96 corridor, looking at kind of tail end of mid-October to late October, and then late October, possibly into early November for the southern portion of Michigan along that I-94 corridor. So we are expecting the leaves to change a little later than average this year. And if we hold on to these drier than average conditions, it's not necessarily going to be a dud. Some tree species will actually have more vibrant colors, believe it or not, with drier soil, and others will have some more dull colors. But overall, these drier than average conditions we've had over the last several weeks and the warmer conditions that we've had over the last several weeks is leading me and many others to believe that we will have a slower than normal peak season this season coming up in 2024. So, of course, we'll see how things turn out. Weather can change, the forecast can change, but right now, here's what I've got. Explore Fall, if you go on their website, explorefall.com, they're constantly updating, looking at the current weather conditions and showing you their latest projection for when they think colors will peak, and also showing you what's going on at a daily basis. They'll post updated maps showing what the current conditions are in terms of fall foliage all across the country. That, of course, being updated very frequently on explorefall.com. But I'm meteorologist Collin Rogers here in Kalamazoo, and let's keep our fingers crossed that we have a good fall season.